Hi everyone, welcome to the second part of the Ranorex training track. In the first part we took a look at how to configure and install Ranorex, and we've already created the first test suite that opens and closes Dataminer Cube using existing recordings from the Dataminer Cube library. Today we will take a look at how you can create new recordings. In these recordings you will use both existing repository items and you will be tracking items in Dataminer Cube to create new repository items in Ranorex that you can use in your recordings. But first, we will take a short look at the steps to include in your test. The first step is creation. You want to be able to create an item to test with. This can be a piece of data, it can be an element in Dataminer, or it can be a certain configuration. For more complex setups, it's possible that you test each step of the creation first, and then later you run an automation script to create a full setup to use further on in your tests. Secondly, we want to verify that this item we have created is correctly stored and can be displayed correctly. So the second step is to read the item and check that everything is okay. Next step, we want to allow the user to edit or to update the items that are created. And lastly, we want the user to be able to delete an item that is no longer needed. These four steps are often known as the CRUD model. This is commonly used in database and data storage. And of course, for each of these steps, we want to validate that the effects of the step are correct. In applications like Dataminer, we do not only store, edit, and delete data, but we also often create configurations. In these cases, the CRUD model is no longer sufficient, so I'll add another step in my test strategy, and that is the functionality. Often in automated tests for Dataminer, the functionality tests will be the biggest part of your test. And the functionality tests can consist of multiple steps. And of course, again, for all of these steps, we want to add validation to make sure that everything is correctly done. A last model where we don't want the user to be able to edit data. In Dataminer, these are, for example, the alarm data or the trending data is create, read, and delete. And again, for all steps, we want to, of course, validate that these can be done correctly. And in addition, we also want to validate that the user can indeed not update or edit any of those data items.